your emails are going to spam, but not for the reason you think. Not because of your subject lines, not because of your send time, not even because of your content. They're going to spam because Google, Apple, and Microsoft's AI have decided you aren't trustworthy. And once that happens, it doesn't matter how perfect your emails are. While you're obsessing over pretty templates and asking ChatGPT to write better copy, the algorithm is destroying your sender reputation. And every ignored email you send is making it worse. Let's fix this before it's too late. I'm Neil Patel, founder of NP Digital, an award-winning global marketing agency. We send millions of emails every month for our clients. And after surveying hundreds of top marketers and analyzing our own data, we uncovered the exact behaviors that trigger AI-powered email filters and how to beat them. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to reset your reputation, retrain the AI, and boost your open rates past 30% before your list gets cold and your business loses most profitable marketing channel. Here's how. Every time you send an email, you're not just reaching out to your audience, you're actually performing for an invisible judge that never forgets and rarely forgives. This judge doesn't care about your beautiful design or perfect copy. Instead, it watches something far more telling: how your audience actually behaves when your emails arrive. Gmail's AI, Outlook's filters, and Apple's mail intelligence systems are all tracking these kind of behavioral signals, like opens, clicks, replies, deletions, and most dangerously, the dreaded mark as spam button. But here's where it gets really interesting. These systems don't just track individual reactions. They analyze patterns across your entire audience and make predictive judgments about your future emails. When they notice that your recent emails are consistently ignored, they essentially decide that if people didn't want to see your last message, they probably won't want to see your next one either. This creates what I call an email death spiral. Poor engagement on one email leads to reduced visibility on the next, which leads to even poor engagement, which leads to even less visibility. Before you know it, your emails are reaching maybe 20% of your list, and you're left wondering, what went wrong with my strategy? At our agency, NP Digital, we've analyzed hundreds of accounts, and here's what we discovered. 100% of marketers achieving 30+% open rates understand this fundamental truth. Engagement doesn't just improve performance, it determines visibility. Every ignored email is a vote of no confidence in your sender reputation. But here's the silver lining. This same system that can destroy your email reach can also amplify it exponentially. When these AI systems detect consistent positive engagement, regular opens, frequent clicks, genuine replies, they begin to trust you. They start placing your emails prominently in the inbox. This allows you to bypass filters that stop other marketers cold. This transformation isn't gradual, it's dramatic. Once you cross the threshold from untrusted sender to valued contact, your entire email marketing benefits. Your open rates climb, your deliverability improves, and suddenly, emails become the reliable channel you always hoped it would be. Now, if you're thinking the solution is just build a bigger list to compensate for low engagement, you're about to discover why that's the worst thing you can do. Last year, a client came to us celebrating their massive 50,000 subscriber list, but their email revenue was declining every month with only 8% open rates. Here's what was really happening. 35,000 of their subscribers had become inbox zombies, technically alive, but totally unresponsive. These are the people who signed up during a moment of interest, but life moved on. They hadn't opened an email in months from this sender, but they also haven't bothered to unsubscribe. To our client, these look like potential customers. To Gmail's algorithm, they look like proof that this sender creates content that nobody wants to read. Every time that they sent to these disengaged subscribers, they were actively training the algorithm to suppress their future emails. The system saw 35,000 unopened emails and concluded, this sender is irrelevant. But here's the worst part. This judgment didn't just affect the emails to these disengaged subscribers, it affected emails to everyone. When your overall engagement rates tank, the algorithm applies that performance score across your entire list. Even loyal subscribers who have been opening emails every month for months started missing messages because the AI categorized this sender as low value. So we did something counterintuitive. We helped them delete 35,000 subscribers. we intentionally shrunk their list by 70%. The result? The remaining 15,000 subscribers started seeing roughly 35% open rates almost immediately. 15,000 people, roughly at 35% open rates, generated on average 5,250 actual opens, compared to the original 50,000 people at 8%, which only generates roughly 4,000 opens. Fewer subscribers, but more engagement, more revenue, and most importantly, a much stronger signal to the algorithm that this sender provides genuine value. But list pruning is only one step. The marketers who consistently hit 30+% open rates treat their sender reputation like a credit score. And just like your credit score, there are specific behaviors that either build or destroy your standing. Email marketing isn't just a one-way broadcast anymore. To succeed today, you need to stop thinking like a sender and start thinking like a relationship builder. Every email you send either builds or erodes trust with inbox algorithms. So you need to make a decision that are not just based on immediate results, but on long-term deliverability help. This long-term thinking shows up in 3 critical ways. First, they maintain religiously consistent sending schedules. Just like erratic behavior might concern a friend, irregular email patterns signal unpredictability to algorithms. If you normally send twice a week and suddenly blast 5 emails in one day, the system notices and starts watching you more closely. Second, they respect the boundaries of their subscriber relationship. They understand that trust is built through reliability, not intensity. This means resisting the temptation to over-communicate during product launches or sales events. Instead, they plan their communication calendar to maintain steady, valuable contact without overwhelming their audience. Third, they pay attention to the subtle signals that indicate that they're growing algorithmic trust. Higher inbox placement rates, improved open rates over time, and fewer spam complaints. When they see these positive indicators, they know they're building the kind of reputation that will serve them in the long term. Most importantly, they understand that the modern inbox AI doesn't just count opens and clicks. It analyzes context, timing, and behavioral patterns. It notices when engagement happens quickly after delivery versus hours later. It recognizes the difference between a quick delete and a careful read followed by a click. This deeper understanding leads to more sophisticated strategies that are focused on meaningful engagement rather than just vanity metrics. Now, even if you nail everything I just shared, there's still one thing 90% of marketers still do that screw everything up without realizing the damage they're doing. I see this mistake 9 out of 10 email campaigns I review. They're sending the same email to everyone on your list. It sounds normal, right? But when you do that, you're essentially just asking the algorithm to judge you based on the average response you get across your subscribers. If half your list finds your email irrelevant, the algorithm doesn't distinguish between the engaged half and the disengaged half. It sees the blended performance and makes deliverability decisions based on that. This is why email segmentation has evolved from a nice to have feature to becoming absolutely necessary for your brand's survival. But we're not just talking about basic demographic segmentation here. The kind of segmentation that works in today's environment focuses on behavioral patterns that predict genuine engagement. The best approach I've seen prioritizes engagement histories as a primary filter. This means identifying who opened your last 5 emails, who clicked the last 3 call to actions, and who replied to recent messages. These kind of behaviors are strong predictors of future engagement and exactly the signals inbox algorithms use to evaluate sender reputation. Beyond engagement history, successful marketers segment based on the customer journey. Someone who subscribed yesterday has completely different needs than someone who has been receiving your emails for 6 months. Creating separate communication tracks for new subscribers versus engaged regulars and even re-engagement campaigns dramatically improves overall performance. I've seen clients increase their email open rates by 15 to 20% by just simply implementing behavior-based segmentation. Just like someone comes to your website, adds a product to checkout, but doesn't completely buy. You would send them a different email than someone who's never even added a product to a cart. You may want to run a promotion with the person who abandoned their cart because there's a good chance they're interested in that product. And by leveraging segmentation, it helps ensure that your emails start reaching the primary inbox more consistently, which then amplifies every other improvement you make. But even with perfect segmentation, there's still one thing that can instantly trigger spam filters. And ironically, it's the thing that most marketers spend most time on and money on. It may seem counterintuitive at first, but the more professional your emails look, the more likely they are to be filtered out as spam or promotional. This happens because inbox algorithms have been trained on billions of emails and learned to distinguish between personal communication and marketing messages. The visual cues that make emails look professional, like branded headers, colorful graphics, multiple buttons, are actually red flags that trigger algorithmic suspicion. Think about the emails in your own inbox that you actually read and engage with. They're probably simple text-based messages that feel like they came from a real person, right? The most successful email marketers have embraced this constraint as a creative opportunity. They focus on conversational writing that doesn't need visual tricks to hold attention. They use simple formatting, short paragraphs, plenty of white space to create emails that feel authentically personal. This is a simple move that makes a big difference. When your emails feel more personal, they're less likely to get flagged as promotions by the algorithm, which means better deliverability. Plus, people are more likely to open and engage with them because they come across as more trustworthy and relevant. So far, we talked about cleaning your list, building trust, segmenting properly, and keeping design simple. But what I'll share with you next is going to be one of the highest leverage tactics that you can do for your email marketing success. Of all the signals that inbox algorithms track, nothing carries more weight than a genuine reply. When someone takes the time to respond to your email, it sends an unmistakable message. This is valuable, and I want this communication. A reply transforms your algorithmic relationship in several ways. It signals genuine interest, indicates recipients view you as a real person worth communicating with, and it creates conversation threads that algorithms recognize as high-value interactions. The power extends beyond individual emails. Consistent replies categorize you as a trusted sender, improving deliverability across all future messages. Even a few replies per email can significantly boost your sender reputation. This is why when I send out emails, a lot of times I'll ask questions, because that enables me to get thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of replies. The key is ending emails with authentic questions that invite genuine responses. For example, you can ask people for product feedback, whether it's a physical product or even a software. An e-commerce brand selling home goods might try, what room in your house needs the most help right now? I love hearing about your projects and sometimes share makeover tips based on your responses. A B2B software company could end with, what's the most frustrating part of your current workflow? Reply and tell me, I'll use these insights to shape our product development so it'll help you out. The difference is night and day. Personal questions feel like a conversation, and conversations get replies. The email marketing landscape has fundamentally changed, but the opportunity for those who adapt have never been more exciting. While many marketers struggle with declining performance, those who have learned to work with algorithmic systems are seeing major success. Your goal is no longer just growing your list. It's building a community of engaged subscribers who consistently interact with your content. But all this inbox optimization means nothing if you don't have the right people to send to. Email is the most profitable channel, but only if you can consistently fill it up with engaged subscribers. In my next video, I'll show you search everywhere optimization, the omni-channel approach that turns every piece of content into an email list building machine.